The Walt Disney World Resort, informally known as Walt Disney World or simply Disney World, is an entertainment complex in Lake Buena Vista, Florida. The resort opened on October 1, 1971 and is the most visited vacation resort in the world, with an attendance of 52.5 million annually. It is owned and operated by Walt Disney Parks and Resorts, a division of the Walt Disney Company. The property covers 42,000 acres, in which it houses 24 themed resort hotels, 4 theme parks, 2 water parks, 4 golf courses, and numerous additional recreational and entertainment venues. Magic Kingdom was the first and original theme park to open in the complex, followed by Epcot, Disney's Hollywood Studios, and Disney's Animal Kingdom, which opened later throughout the 1980s and 1990s. Designed to supplement Disneyland in Anaheim, California, which had opened in 1955, the complex was developed by Walt Disney in the 1960s, though he died in 1966 before construction on the Florida project began. After extensive lobbying, the government of Florida created the Reedy Creek Improvement District, a special government district that essentially gave the Walt Disney Company the standard powers and autonomy of an incorporated city. Original plans called for the inclusion of an experimental prototype community of tomorrow, a planned city that would serve as a test bed for new innovations for city living. History. In 1959, Walt Disney Productions began looking for land for a second park to supplement Disneyland, which opened in Anaheim, California, in 1955. Market surveys revealed that only 5% of Disneyland's visitors come from east of the Mississippi River, where 75% of the population of the United States lived. Additionally, Walt Disney disliked the businesses that had sprung up around Disneyland and wanted control of a much larger area of land for the new project. Walt Disney flew over the Orlando area site in November 1963. Seeing the well-developed network of roads, including the planned Interstate 4 on Florida's Turnpike, with McCoy Air Force Base to the east, Disney selected a centrally located site near Bay Lake. To avoid a burst of land speculation, Disney used various dummy corporations to acquire 27,443 acres of land. In May 1965, some of these major land transactions were recorded a few miles southwest of Orlando in Osceola County. Also, 2 large tracts totaling $1.5 million were sold, and smaller tracts of flat lands and cattle pastures were purchased by exotic-sounding companies such as the Latin American Development and Management Corporation and the Reedy Creek Ranch Corporation. In addition to 3 huge parcels of land were many smaller parcels, referred to as outs. Much of the land acquired had been platted into 5-acre lots in 1912 by the Munger Land Company and sold to investors. Most owners were happy to get rid of the land, which was mostly swamp. Another issue was the mineral rights to the land, which were owned by Tufts University. Without the transfer of these rights, Tufts could come in at any time and demand the removal of buildings to obtain minerals. Eventually, Disney's team negotiated a deal with Tufts to buy the mineral rights for $15,000. After most of the land had been bought, the truth of the property's owner was leaked to the Orlando Sentinel newspaper on October 20, 1965. A press conference was organized for November 15, when Walt Disney explained the plans for the site, including EPCOT, the experimental prototype community of tomorrow, which was to be a futuristic planned city. He envisioned a working city with commercial and residential areas that also continued to showcase and test new ideas and concepts for urban living. Walt Disney died from lung cancer on December 15, 1966, before his vision was realized. His brother and business partner, Roy O. Disney, postponed his retirement to oversee construction of the resort's first phase. On February 2, 1967, Roy O. Disney held a press conference at the Park Theaters in Winter Park, Florida. The role of EPCOT was emphasized in the film that was played, the last one recorded by Walt Disney before his death. After the film, it was explained that for Disney World, including EPCOT, to succeed, a special district would have to be formed, the Reedy Creek Improvement District with 2 cities inside it, Bay Lake and Reedy Creek. In addition to the standard powers of an incorporated city, which include the issuance of tax-free bonds, the district would have immunity from any current or future county or state land use laws. The only areas where the district had to submit to the county and state would be property taxes and elevator inspections. The legislation forming the district and the two cities was signed into law by Florida Governor Claude R. Kirk, Jr. on May 12, 1967. The Florida Supreme Court then ruled in 1968 that the district was allowed to issue tax-exempt bonds for public projects within the district despite the sole beneficiary being Walt Disney Productions. The district soon began construction of drainage canals, and Disney built the first roads and Magic Kingdom. The Contemporary Resort Hotel, the Polynesian Village, and Fort Wilderness were also completed in time for the park's opening on October 1, 1971. The Palm and Magnolia golf courses near Magic Kingdom had opened a few weeks before. At the park's opening, Roy O. Disney dedicated the property and declared that it would be known as Walt Disney World in his brother's honor. In his own words, "Everyone has heard of Ford cars. But have they all heard of Henry Ford, who started it all? Walt Disney World is in memory of the man who started it all, so people will know his name as long as Walt Disney World is here." After the dedication, Roy Disney asked Walt's widow, Lillian, what she thought of Walt Disney World. According to biographer Bob Thomas, she responded, "I think Walt would have approved." Roy O. Disney died on December 20, 1971, less than 3 months after the property opened. Much of Walt Disney's plans for his Progress City were abandoned after his death, after the company board decided that it did not want to be in the business of running a city. The concept evolved into the resort's second theme park, Epcot Center, which opened in 1982. While still emulating Walt Disney's original idea of showcasing new technology, it is closer to a World's Fair than a Community of Tomorrow. Some of the urban planning concepts from the original idea of Epcot would instead be integrated into the Community of Celebration much later. The resort's third theme park, Disney MGM Studios, opened in 1989, and is inspired by show business. The resort's fourth theme park, Disney's Animal Kingdom, opened in 1998. George Kalogridis was named president of the resort in December 2012, replacing Meg Crofton, who had overseen the site since 2006. Timeline. Location. Despite marketing claims and popular misconceptions, the Florida resort is not within Orlando city limits, but is actually about 21 miles southwest of downtown Orlando, much of it in southwestern Orange County, with the remainder in adjacent Osceola County. The property includes the cities of Lake Buena Vista and Bay Lake, which are governed by the Reedy Creek Improvement District. The 25,000 acres site is accessible from Central Florida's Interstate 4 via exits 62B, 64B, 65B, 67B, and 68, and Exit 8 on State Road 429, the Western Expressway. At its peak, the resort occupied approximately 30,000 acres, about the size of San Francisco, or twice the size of Manhattan. Portions of the property since have been sold or annexed, including land now occupied by the Disney-built Community of Celebration. Attractions. Theme parks, Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Disney's Hollywood Studios, Disney's Animal Kingdom, water parks, Disney's Typhoon Lagoon, Disney's Blizzard Beach. There are also many beaches around the area. Other attractions, Downtown Disney, opened March 22, 1975, Disney's Boardwalk, opened July 1, 1996, Disney's Wedding Pavilion, opened July 15, 1995, ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex, opened March 28, 1997, Walt Disney World Speedway, opened November 28, 1995, Richard Petty Driving Experience, opened November 28, 1995. Golf and recreation. Disney's property includes 5 golf courses. The 4 18-hole golf courses are the Palm, the Magnolia, Lake Buena Vista and Osprey Ridge. There is also a 9-hole walking course called Oak Trail, designed for young golfers. The Magnolia and Palm courses play home to the PGA Tour's Children's Miracle Network Hospitals Classic. Arnold Palmer Golf Management manages the Disney golf courses. Additionally, there are 2 themed miniature golf complexes, each with 2 courses, Fantasia Gardens and Winter Summerland. Catch and release fishing excursions are offered daily on the resort's lakes. A Florida fishing license is not required because it occurs on private property. Cane pole fishing is offered from the docks at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground and Disney's Port Orleans Resort. Additional recreational activities include watercraft rentals, Surrey bike rentals, and firework cruises that launch from several resort marinas. Former attractions: Disney's River Country, the first water park at the Walt Disney World Resort. It opened on June 20, 1976 and closed on November 1, 2001. Discovery Island, an island in Bay Lake which was home to many species of animals and birds. It opened on April 8, 1974 and closed on April 8, 1999. Resorts: of the 34 resorts and hotels on the Walt Disney World property, 28 are owned and operated by Walt Disney Parks and Resorts. These are classified into 4 categories: deluxe, moderate, value, and Disney Vacation Club villas, and are located in one of 5 resort areas: the Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Wide World of Sports, Animal Kingdom, or Downtown Disney Resort areas. While all of the deluxe resort hotels have achieved a AAA4 Diamond rating, Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa is considered the highest-tier flagship luxury resort on the Walt Disney World Resort complex. On-site Disney resorts. On-site non-Disney hotels. Former resorts: the Golf Resort Euro became the Disney Inn, and later became Shades of Green. Disney's Village Resort Euro became the Villas at Disney Institute and then Disney's Saratoga Springs Resort and Spa. The Treehouse Villas were decommissioned for a time because they were not accessible to disabled guests. Until early 2008, they were used for international program cast member housing. In February 2008, Disney submitted plans to the South Florida Water Management District to replace the 60 existing villas with 60 new villas. The Treehouse Villas opened during the summer of 2009. Celebration, Lake Buena Vista, proposed resorts: Disney's Asian Resort, Disney's Persian Resort, Disney's Venetian Resort, Disney's Mediterranean Resort, Fort Wilderness Junction, Disney's Magical Express. Guests with a Disney Resort reservation arriving at Orlando International Airport can be transported to their resort from the airport using the complimentary Disney Magical Express service, which is operated by Mears Destination Services, as Walt Disney World is not allowed to transport guests off resort property. Guests can also have their bags picked up and transported for them through a contract with Bags Incorporated. Mears operates custom motor coaches and luggage is delivered to the guests' rooms by Bags. Disney Cruise Line buses are also operated by Mears. Executive Management, President, Walt Disney World Resort Euro George Kalogridis, Senior Vice President of Operations and Next Generation Experiences, Walt Disney World Resort Euro Jim McPhee, Senior Vice President of Operations, Sales, and Alliance Development, Walt Disney World Resort Euro George Agwal, Vice President, Magic Kingdom Euro Phil Holmes, Vice President, Epcot Euro Aaron Youngs, Vice President, Disney's Hollywood Studios Euro Dan Cockerell, Vice President, Disney's Animal Kingdom Euro Josh Damaro, Vice President, Downtown Disney Euro Keith Bradford, Vice President, Resort Hotel Operations Euro Kevin Myers, Vice President, Disney's Wide World of Sports Complex and Disney Water Parks Euro Ken Petrock, Vice President, Transportation, Sports, and Golf Euro Jim Bender, Vice President, Global Relationship Marketing, Disney Destinations LLC Euro Greg Albrecht, Vice President Engineering, Walt Disney World Resort Euro John Watkins, Vice President, Animal Programs and Environmental Initiative ASA Euro Dr. Jackie Ogden. Senior Vice President of Public Affairs, Walt Disney World Resort Euro Brian B. Sanseni, Vice President, Community Relations and Minority Business Development, Walt Disney World Resort Euro Eugene Campbell, Vice President Government Relations, Walt Disney World Resort Euro Bill Warren. Former Executive Management, former President, Walt Disney World Resort 1994 Euro 2006 Euro Elvis, former President, Walt Disney World Resort 2006-2013 Meg Crofton, former Executive Vice President of Operations, Walt Disney World Resort 1994 Euro 2006 Euro Lee Cockerell, former Senior Vice President of Operations, Walt Disney World Resort 2006 Euro 2009 Euro Erin Wallace, former Senior Vice President of Operations, Walt Disney World Resort Euro Carl Holtz, former EVP Marketing 1973 Euro 1996 Tom Elrod, former EVP Marketing 1996 Euro 2006 Linda Warren, former Vice President, Magic Kingdom 2000 Euro 2001 Euro Erin Wallace, former Vice President, Magic Kingdom 1987 Euro 1994 Euro Bill Sullivan, former Vice President, Epcot 2011 Euro Rillis Carter, former Vice President, Epcot 2009 Euro 2011 Euro Dan Cockerell, former Vice President, Epcot 2007 Euro 2009 Euro Jim McPhee, former Vice President, Epcot 2001 Euro 2007 Euro Brad Rex, former Vice President, Epcot 1994 Euro 1996 Euro Linda Warren, former Vice President, Epcot 1987 Euro 1990 Euro Norm Derwerges, former Vice President, Disney's Hollywood Studios Euro Michael O'Riordan, former Vice President, Disney MGM Studios Euro Bruce Lavelle, former Vice President, Disney's Animal Kingdom and Animal Programs Euro Dr. Beth Stevens, former Vice President, Disney's Animal Kingdom Euro Val Bunting, former Vice President, Disney's Animal Kingdom Euro Kevin Lawsonsbury, former Vice President, Downtown Disney Euro Kevin Lawsonsbury, former Vice President, Downtown Disney Euro Juan Rivers, former Vice President, Downtown Disney Euro Carl Holtz. Attendance. Employment. When the Magic Kingdom opened in 1971, the site employed about 5,500 cast members. Today Walt Disney World employs more than 66,000 cast members, spending more than $1.2 billion on payroll and $474 million on benefits each year. The largest single-site employer in the United States, Walt Disney World has more than 3,700 job classifications. The resort also sponsors and operates the Walt Disney World College Program, an internship program that offers American college students the opportunity to live about 15 miles off-site in 4 Disney-owned apartment complexes and work at the resort, and thereby provides much of the theme park and resort frontline cast members. There is also the Walt Disney World International College Program, an internship program that offers international college students from all over the world the same opportunity. Corporate culture. Walt Disney World's corporate culture is based in some respects on that of its older sibling Disneyland, of which the most interesting is the use of a unique jargon based on theatrical terminology. This phenomenon is so well known that travel guidebooks have to include lists of common terms and abbreviations. For example, park visitors are always guests, employees are cast members, rides are attractions, or adventures. Cast members costumed as famous Disney characters in a way that does not cover their faces are known as face characters, jobs are roles, and public and non-public areas are respectively labeled on stage and backstage. Maintenance. In a March 30, 2004 article in the Orlando Sentinel, then Walt Disney World President Elvis gave some insight into how the parks are maintained. More than 5,000 cast members are dedicated to maintenance and engineering, including 750 horticulturalists and 600 painters. Disney spends more than $100 million every year on maintenance at the Magic Kingdom. In 2003, $6 million was spent on renovating its Crystal Palace restaurant. 90% of guests say that the upkeep and cleanliness of the Magic Kingdom are excellent or very good. The streets in the parks are steam cleaned every night. There are cast members permanently assigned to painting the antique carousel horses. They use genuine gold leaf. There is a tree farm on site so that when a mature tree needs to be replaced, a 30-year-old tree will be available to replace it. Transportation. A fleet of Disney-operated buses on property, branded Disney Transport, is complimentary for guests. In 2007, Disney Transport started a guest services upgrade to the buses. SATELL GPS systems controlling new public address systems on the buses give safety information, park tips and other general announcements, with music. They are not to be confused with the Disney Cruise Line and Disney's Magical Express buses, which are operated by Mears Transportation. The Walt Disney World monorail system also provides transportation at Walt Disney World. They operate on 3 routes that interconnect at the Transportation and Ticket Center, adjacent to the Magic Kingdom's parking lot. One line provides an express non-stop link from the TTC to the Magic Kingdom, while a second line provides a link from the TTC to Epcot. The third line links the TTC and the Magic Kingdom to the Contemporary, Polynesian, and Grand Floridian resorts. Disney Transport also operates a fleet of watercraft, ranging in size from water taxis up to the ferries that connect the Magic Kingdom to the Transportation and Ticket Center. Additionally, it is also responsible for maintaining the fleet of parking lot trams used for shuttling visitors between the various theme park parking lots and their respective main entrances. The major roads within the resort have segments that are built as freeways with full-grade separated interchanges. World Drive enters Walt Disney World from U.S. Route 192 and heads north to the Magic Kingdom Resort area. Osceola Parkway heads east from the Animal Kingdom Resort area to Interstate 4. Epcot Center Drive is a freeway for most of its route, running east from World Drive, past the Epcot parking lot to Interstate 4. Buena Vista Drive is a major surface street, running east from the Animal Kingdom Resort area to Disney's Hollywood Studios, the Epcot Resort area, and downtown Disney. Name and logo: during the resort's early planning stages, Walt Disney referred to the project as Project X, the Florida Project, Disney World, and the Disney World. Early visual references used the same medieval font as Disneyland. Walt Disney was very involved in the site selection and project planning in the years before his death. The secretive names were chosen because of the high confidentiality of the project during the initial planning. After Walt Disney's death, Roy O. Disney added the name Walt to Disney World as a permanent tribute to his brother. The original Walt Disney World logo featured an oversized D with a Mickey Mouse-shaped globe containing latitude and longitude lines, with the property's name presented in a blocky, modern, sans serif font. The original logo was retired during the resort's 25th anniversary celebration in 1996 and was replaced with the current logo, which features the Walt Disney portion of the logo in the typical Disney corporate signature font and World and Times New Roman font. Remnants of the original logo can still be found in many places throughout the resort, including the Spectra Magic title float, on the front car of each monorail, manhole covers, survey markers, and flags flown at several sites across the property. During the resort's 40th anniversary celebration in 2011, the original logo began to reappear on merchandise sold at the resort and can still be found on select items sold at various gift shops and stores at Walt Disney World. Twin Town: as part of a competition run by Disney for 2010, Walt Disney World has an unofficial twinning with Swindon, England, since 2009. Rebecca Warren's submission to the competition granted Swindon to be the twin town of Walt Disney World, which is famous for its intersection with 6 roundabouts. Warren and the mayor of Swindon were invited to a twinning ceremony, where a plaque revealing the connection will be placed. See also: Disney College Program, Incidents at Walt Disney World, Rail Transport in Disney Parks, Walt Disney Travel Company, Walt Disney World Casting Center, Walt Disney World Company, Walt Disney World Explorer, Walt Disney World Hospitality and Recreation Corporation, Walt Disney World International Program. References: Keller, Michael. Images of the Past, Historical Authenticity and Inauthenticity from Disney to Times Square. External links: official website,